So recently I rebuilt my e-bike battery and I did a video on that. And this is my old e-bike battery. It's a good battery, but I do think there's a couple cells that are self-discharging and causing it to go out of balance. So I can either try and repair those cells or I need to repurpose this. Most of these cells are great cells and really there's nothing wrong with them. So I need to find a purpose for these cells. And what I've decided to do is to put them into a couple very large power banks. There are these 21 cell power banks with a flashlight, PDQ charging, all of that. And they're 21 cells per power bank, and that's what I'm going to put them in. So I've already ordered those power banks, and what I need to do is strip this down, free all the cells. We will let the cells sit for a couple weeks to see which are the self-discharging cells. And then the good cells we will put into those power banks. So that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to strip this down.
Yeah.
Let me just say I'm very impressed with some of these spot welds. I'm actually having a hard time removing some of this nickel. These PCB spot welders do a hell of a job actually. Just be careful at this stage. You know, the battery is still mostly built and this nickel will easily short on other cells as you rip it off. So just be careful. Okay, I finished stripping these cells. What we need to do now is voltage test them. There might be, I think I put these away fully charged last time, I think. But there might be some low cells if some are self-discharging. The problem is if there was a self-discharging cell in a parallel pack, it would drag down the other good cells with it. So just because it's low now, doesn't mean we can write it off as a bad cell. Let me put this where you can see it. Anyways, let's check these. 3.75, 3.75, 3.97, 3.75, 3.97, 3.75, 3.97, 3.97, 4. 4, 4, 4, 4, 3.97. Oh wow, this cell is, I think, dead. This cell is 0. Well, that's part of my problem. I think this is a 0 cell. Okay. Throw that one in the trash. That's interesting. Now what I was actually hoping to find is a bunch that were over 4 volts and a lot of them are not. Because if it's over 4 volts I don't need to charge them. 3.95, 3.95, 3.95, 3.95, 3.7, 3.95, 3.7, 3.7, 3.7, 3.7. Okay, so they're all between 3.7 and 3.9, which is kind of annoying because I really was hoping that some of them would be over 4 volts so that I could skip charging them, but we might actually have to break out the chargers. 3.8, 3.8, 3.9, 3.9, 3.9, 3.8, 3.8, 3.8, 3.9, 3.9. Okay. What I think I'm going to have to do is I'm going to charge all of them, and then I'm going to let them sit. I'm going to charge them and let them sit for a couple of weeks and search for the duds. I won't bore you with the rest of these, but I'm going to measure these out. I'm going to charge them all, and then we'll let them sit for 2 weeks while I wait for the power banks to arrive. So it is about 3 weeks later, and I have received these from AliExpress, and these hold 21 cells each. It has a flashlight, all kinds of charging options, and the nice thing is it actually comes with different charge cords built into the back that you can pull out and plug in here. So we will use these cells to populate these, and I think this will be a good second use of these cells in something like this. A nice, emergency camp, flashlight, charger, great for a, weekend camping trip or something like that. 21 cells will keep all your electronics charged up. So I'm pretty happy about these. These look pretty nice. So we'll assemble those in a second. We do need to voltage test these, and we'll go through that as well. I did also order this large power bank, and I only ordered this for processing cells, because when I need to charge up a bunch of cells to let them sit or to get them ready for a battery build, it takes forever to charge up. We got to charge up 60, 70 cells. So I actually bought this because I can load this up with another 21 cells at a time. And then the nice thing is the input on this is QC3, so it'll take like 12 volts, at like 2.5 amps or something like that, which is actually quite a lot of energy. And then, I'll probably be able to charge up 21 cells overnight with this off a QC3 connection. So I'm pretty happy with this. Again, this will be purely for processing cells, just a convenient way to process cells. But let's get back to the main video now. If you remember in the last video, we let these cells sit, and it has been 3 weeks, and they were all charged to over 4 volts, and we now need to see if we have any self-discharging cells here. If they stay over 4 volts, great. If any have dropped below 4 volts, we'll probably bin them, and this will be our rudimentary means of checking for self-discharging cells. Let's see what we got here. Oh, no, I'm in the right. What's going on here? I don't think that was plugged in. There we go. Okay, 3.9, a little suspicious of that one. 3.9, 4.1, 4.1, 4.0, 4.1, 3.9, 3.9, 4.0, 4.0, 4.0, 4.0, 4.1, 4.0, 4.1, 4.0, 4.1, and 3.8. I'm going to pull the 3.8, but I'm going to leave everything else. When I charged these up, I was just using power banks and stuff. I wasn't doing it scientific. So, some of these might have charged up to about 4 volts and then settled to 3.9. I'm probably okay with that. That one that's at 3.8, I'm going to pull that one. But I'm okay with about the rest of these. So let's put those there. Let's grab the next batch. You're gone. Okay, so I've pulled about 5 batteries that, there was definitely 3 that were really low. All right, let's load this thing up here. It'll probably be a little tricky to get the cells in, but in theory, and make sure you get your polarity right. Obviously the springs are the negative, and the negative is the big flat side, and the positive is the little round tip, and that goes onto those little round bumps there. So make sure you get your polarity right. But when you're loading this many cells, it's probably going to be a little tricky to do it. So let's go. If you do load a cell back, it's going to instantly dead short with the other cells, and it'll probably just burn out the spring. If you have seen it in my older videos, I used to use these sort of springs as fuses. Okay, that's the first row loaded. Let's load another row. Now, because these are all in parallel, they will all balance each other, and if there are any slightly weaker cells, the stronger cells will compensate. It's not a big deal to have a couple weak cells in here. You just don't want true self-discharging cells, because that just means this thing will empty itself if you leave it sitting on a shelf for a month, it'll be empty when you come back to use it, which will be a pain. I don't know if you can tell, I don't like how some of these springs are kind of pushing. I'm not sure they're making really good contact. I might go back and mess with that a little bit, but let's finish this out. Okay, 21 cells loaded up. I do want to kind of push the spring a little bit. Okay, I think it's making, yeah, it is making electrical connection, so that's all that matters. Okay, now we actually have to plug this tiny little 2-pin connector in down there. I probably should have plugged it in before I stuffed all the batteries in, because this is going to be tight. Although I might just get a, oh no, I guess it's okay. I can always, like I was about to say, I can always just get a pair of tweezers, or actually, am I doing this backwards? Hard to tell which way it goes. Oh, I am putting in backwards there. It's marked with polarity, so let me flip this connector around. Okay, that is plugged in. Let's put the lid on here. See how the lid attaches. It looks like it's just tabs in. This lid does not want to fit very easily. Okay, so what's actually happening is the cells are kind of bowing out the sides. You can see how it's kind of bowing out the sides here. You got to squeeze it in, and then it sort of goes into place. We're almost there. Okay. Okay, it is sealed. All right, 21 cells in here. Let's see what the Let's see what this battery does. Okay, apparently the button on here does absolutely nothing. Well, that's good. Let me try to see what happens when I plug it in. Okay, it's very dim, but it is charging, so that's good. But why is... Let's unplug it. Let's see why does the button not... Oh, hang on, it does. Okay, so we got the backlight turned on. Oh, it's a short little press. Okay, there you go. The front flashlight is on. SOS mode. Slow SOS mode. And off, except the backlight is still on. Is that a long press? Okay, that's a long press. Okay, so long press to turn on and off the backlight, and short press is to turn on and off the front light. And then it has this nice squishy rubbery handle. This thing's quite nice, actually. You can see we have Type-C, micro, lightning, and then 4 USBs. And then the nice thing is it comes with these cables built into the back that you pull out. And these are actually USB adapters. And you slide that in there, and then you can charge off there, and then when you're done, you can put your Type-C cable back in here. So that's nice. In an emergency, I mean, that's a lot of cells, and we are repurposing these cells. I'm pretty happy with that. I mean, that's a good use of some old cells, because Powerbank is a low, just a low draw application. So especially when there's 21 cells like this. So I am pretty happy with this. Let me build up the other one, and I'll get back with you. Okay, both batteries are assembled, both are working. So yeah, these 4 are outputs and these center ones are inputs. So it'll take a lightning input, a Type-C input, or a micro input. This one is charging on USB Type-C. Can you see? Yeah, it's a bit light, but it is charging. I think there's we're gonna do a little ASMR pull away here. Oh, yep, we are. But anyway, so yeah, it's charging on that one's charging on Type-C. This one I'll use micro because I have micro right here. Yep. And this one is charging as well. Another little ASMR. But there we go. This is a really good use of old 18650s. I mean, honestly, a couple old dead power tool batteries. Probably pull out the 18650s, put them in a nice power bank. Maybe see if there are any individually bad cells. Remove those first. And then here we go. Here's 42 cells repurposed. And I've got a couple of buddies that hunt, and I'll probably just give these to them. And then, these remaining cells, I can just put them in my project box for something else. Anyways, hope that helped.